That's annoying. I'm Sargeant. Let's redesign it. During the opening credits, I got this idea rolling. Instead of dealing with moving claws, this just snaps onto the neck of the bottle. To guarantee a solid snap on a bottle, I prototyped a few test rings with varying angles. The fit at 15 and 20 tells me it needs to be in between these points. 17.5 it is. Accounting for bottle geometry, this is generated. The part will be cast out of epoxy with a silicone mold. The upper section will be placed in the mold and permanently trapped within. Adding a structure, a lever, and the original capping mechanism, we end up with this. Now let's make it. I'll begin by making a box to make the silicone mold. It doesn't need to be too strong since I'm going to take it apart over and over. I 3D printed the halves of the part individually, including the metal structure that ends up inside. I mixed the silicone by weight to be more precise. I try to pour smoothly to avoid any extra air bubbles. While the silicone's setting, I'll work on some other parts. This becomes the upper and lower structure. I am using high-strength epoxy to hold the parts together. The rest of the parts are easily made from scrap metal found in the shop with conventional machining processes. With the first layer of silicone cured, it can be removed from the mold. It can be relatively challenging when you use too much hot glue to hold the plug into the mold. The front and back plugs are glued together, then placed back in the overturned silicone mold. More silicone is added, and it is allowed to fully cure. The cured cube is then cut open to extract the 3D printed plug. A hole is cut to allow epoxy pouring into the mold. The metal structure is placed into the mold, which is subsequently sealed. Casting epoxy is then mixed by volume and poured into the mold. To eliminate air bubbles, the mold can be placed in a vacuum chamber. When the surface bubbles are gone, pressure can be released and I can move on. Demolding the epoxy is more difficult than the 3D print due to overflow and the sprue. The part is then trimmed and cleaned and ready for assembly. The capping cup is salvaged from the original capper. Assembly begins now. The cup is joined to the shaft by a bolt. Next, the lever is joined to the shaft through the slotted pipe. The slotted pipe is then carefully positioned and press-fit into place in the top. The base, frame, top, and supports are then bolted all together. This design is efficient on space and is effective at capping bottles. Thank you for tuning in to Redesign It with Sargeant.